Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at a game called Tower Networking Inc., as you can see on the screen here. I kind of badmouthed the game in my Steam review, and I could be persuaded to change that review, but the developer's been quite mature in how he's responded to that, and he asked, as a general request to all players, for a feedback video on how the game was actually being played. Nah, that's a fair request, and I want to honor that. I'm going to take a look at the game that I have going on now, although I have the feeling that he wants to see what a player does when he actually starts building the tower, not necessarily a tower that's already up to a large number of floors. Now the game, the way it's the initial mode is that it'll just stack floors until you breach the QoS on terms of service, or you run out of money, and usually a player can probably the halfway decent player could probably make it to floor 10 to 15 before and they'd probably die by the floor 20. There is an element of luck involved in the game. The game will it will dispense upgrades and stuff in a very stochastic way. Like on this game, I have no Kia, nor my advanced on a DHCP service. I don't have it, so I have to live without it. And also, my Sun DNS was not working for me on this playthrough, so I'm using DNS v2, and that's. I'll show you the issues when I get into the tower. So there might be a second video in this series to where I'll build up a tower from scratch. But right here, I want to focus in on the problems I'm having. I'm playing in grins and giggles mode, so there's no game over. I'm just going infinitely into debt, and I'm not caring or trying to ignore the game over messages and just simply keep playing. And that said, let's take a look at what I've got and maybe learn something. And just load whatever game this is and just see what we have. Yeah, there's in my own background. I took a bunch of networking courses back in the 1990s. I'm a fairly old guy at this point, but I never really got a job doing much of anything. Mainly because when I gotta show up to get a job, they'll say, well, we haven't run out of enough brown guys from Bangalore, India, so therefore there's no jobs for you. Now, the default speed is much, much, much too fast. You have to take at least 2 hits of coffee, otherwise things will just fly by and you have no chance whatsoever. So 2 hits off the coffee. I think there's one more hit we can take, but that makes the animations too slow to be played, so either things happen much too fast to deal with, or the game is so animated so slowly it's unplayable. This lovely and well-organized group of cables is what happens when you load the game. Now what I can do is I can pick up a device, move it slightly, and I'll knock half the crap. I have to plug in all the crap again, but the cables will have physics now, and will come to rest in a reasonable place. Now, what I've been doing up here, voice and video. I have no idea what this voice VoIP server does. My best guess is that it has to match and POTS telephone numbers onto IP addresses. Other than that, it's got nothing to do. It's I don't know why it exists. I'm using it as a gateway. I figured, well, okay, the handsets, they don't like being on the normal data network, and are kind of their own thing, and they only need a basic Cat1 connection to work. So I'll wire them separately. I'll wire them all through this single blade here, and then gateway them to the network through this server here. And I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really work. And I have a whole second branch of the network over here. I'm pretty much full here. This is as full as I want to make this router. And I'd have to put a second one here. And I can't really figure out how to make that work in a way that makes sense. Do I put in a second VoIP server? I mean, it needs another VoIP server. And the handsets, we'll take a look at the handsets in a minute, but and this router is been buckling. The all-important DNS server is at program capacity. I mean, we could try putting on let's see, let's top this bastard. Yeah, I mean, it's just only running DNS server. I think I have enough room for Sun DNS, and I don't think that even works. I mean, let's all right, now it's got. I don't know. We'll see what that does in a couple minutes. I think this one's my Padu version 2 server, and it's buckling. And this is my as I said, I don't have Kia, so I'm using DNS mask, and that's buckling. And the server's overloaded. I mean, I don't know why. And usually a host will ask for DHCP maybe once every 6 hours, and these hosts, they're demanding a lot more than that. So I have no idea what's going on there, and it amuses me that this is an impenetrable tangle. So therefore, I'm not going to clean it up for you. But this is basically my external. This is my front end switch, and because I needed a debugger access to the back end network, I put this. I put a switch here. Otherwise, I just direct connect the DNS server to the database server, and hopefully. Anyway, I saw I'm a little overloaded. I think on some of these ports are overloaded as well. And there's one there, 416. All right, so what even? All right, this is 16 to 0. So let's look at my links and view links. So I got a lot of them. So this one's overloaded, so it'll be at the near the top of this list here. So I have to find 16 to 0. All right, here it is. It's a copper. It's not even. Yeah. Not even sure I set it up that way, because usually I'll put in Cat 5 for all of my copper connections, unless I think it's going to be a really weak link. Now this is an important link. This is one of my main routers here. So I don't know why I set it up with only the basic copper, but it's now when you get up to 75, 80, that's when you want to upgrade them. And then on the bottom here, I don't even know what this is. 23 to 26. So these I have set up my normal on Cat 5 coppers. I know, by the way, my home network is pretty snazzy. I got Cat 6 running all over my house. I have a 10 gigabit Ethernet on this machine that I'm recording on. 10 gigabit on a massive Linux workstation in the other room. I have a 10 gigabit switch on this level. I just last week installed a 10 gigabit router downstairs, and I have 1 gigabit going out FiOS. Now I think FiOS offers 2 gigabit service, but they take away my POTS port, and I don't carry a cell phone, so I mean I don't know what I would do with a link device which doesn't give me telephone service. That's stupid. I need my telephone service, god damn it. So, I mean, how else am I going to get all my phone spam? So anyway, so as you can see, I tried to map my surveillances through there, and back into the RTSP server, and then front end to the network. Same with my VoIP. And I sort of gave up at around 4:15. I sort of gave up on the approach, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do at this point. But let's look at the floors. Let's go through the floors one by one. All right, this is a major floor. This is a routing floor. I managed to get 4 floors through this one router. So it's a good high convergence rate. My floor 0, I consider my floor 0 data center full. So it's probably time to throw on another data center. But I haven't done that yet. And data centers cost money. And I did, and yeah, that's one more thing to show on that. All right. I call this floor on 0 west, and well, if I'm going to use the servers way over here, the only way to do that is to run a cable on east to west here. Now this cable was ridiculously expensive, but it's the only thing that makes sense. So this is a east to west link, and that's how this is connected all the way over to this. And at this point, the data center is basically at capacity, and it's time to build a new center. But I haven't. Well, let's go to floor 2. I don't have any extra elevator upgrades. I'm like living off of my first 2 elevator upgrades, and then that's. And I'll look at the Secretariat. I have offers for new data centers and nothing, so I'm screwed on as far as that's concerned. I know, for one thing, I have to make trip after trip after trip after trip to floor 4 to discard these boxes. Ooh, want to see a neat bug? Let's play with a bug here. Let's take this box, put it like this. That makes a lot of sense. It'll probably end up like being like that anyway. So let's grab a cable. Let's go over here, pretend to plug it in, and a lot of times the other end here will appear below the floor. Let's try to. Well, most of the time is wasted just wrestling with cables like this. We go over here. Okay, well, a lot of times, as I'm saying, that just doing this and grabbing cables will quite often put the other end through the floor. I think it's flipped. If I flip it the other way, it might do it. And so I'll go back to right this way and just do it again. Yeah, there it goes. Proof that the bug works. I don't know where the other end goes. I think it's... I've looked for the other end. I thought maybe I could exploit this and have a floor-to-floor link with no jack just by glitching it through the floor. I mean, the player can also glitch through the floor. That's also a bug, where if the player goes like this enough times, he'll go through the floor. So that's a fun bug too. And I have to pay my respects here. A single developer indie game, a Godot engine. It's a piece of work, and it's not gonna be a masterpiece. It's not gonna be like Doom 3 or Quake or anything like that. It's a indie title, and I have to respect that. But I also, if a bug exists and the developers asked for feedback, hell yeah, I'm going to give you feedback, and I'm going to show you where your bugs are. And I've just shown you one that's annoys the hell out of me. Like, I'm just trying to wire up a floor, and connectors go through the floor, and what I have to do is I have to move the cable to a different box, and a box that's horizontal, and then it'll stay above the floor, and then I can attach it to my device. I mean, it's basically when it's through the floor, it's gone, and you're not. The only thing to do is to put it in a horizontally mounted horizontal box, and then yeah, and a pretty boring floor here. Yeah, I mean, basically the boxes will just mound up in like crazy, so I'm always coming back to floor 4 and just get rid of my boxes, get rid of more boxes, get rid of other boxes. Like, I mean, when I go to buy stuff, I'll like say, okay, what do I need? I need a 2-meter cables. Okay, network cables. And okay, I'm only allowed to buy 3 of them, and that's so okay. Well, what other cables do you need? Okay, yeah, 1/2 meter. So I'll fill out the box, buy the box, and that's how I buy full boxes every time. Never buy a half-filled box, and even still, I'm just going crazy. I mean, it isn't like it just dispenses cable, long wait, cable, long wait. So boxes are good, but they add a new level of chores. Okay, fresh box. Okay, that's good. So let's continue on. Yeah, here's one on my phone, and this headset is basically it's got a little microcontroller in there, and so I pick it up. The microcontroller has a little sound card on it, so the sound card and it captures my voice. Maybe the data rate maybe 8 to 16 kilobits a second. I mean, it's usually a very low bandwidth. Phones are very, very narrow bandwidth. I think the old telephone service, maybe the entire band was between 100 and 8 kilohertz, and that's all it recorded, and that's all it needed for voice. But anyway, get out of my face, notifications. They are better. Do I really have any problems here? Oh, something's gone down. Crap. Okay, let's see, where do my... Yeah, I must have jostled something when I was showing you the floor 0. Yeah, the headset's overloaded, and now their Ethernet has a long history. You get initially you had a it was just a single wire, and And what you would do is you would look for, there was a mark every about 3 or 4 feet on the wire. And what you'd do is you'd go up there with a literal drill, and you would drill a hole into the wire and just barely touch the center conductor without breaking the center conductor. Oh God, you did not want to break the center conductor, but you had to drill into it and fasten to it a tap. Now the tap had a connector called based on a standard called AUI. Oh, I see what I did. See, because I put Sun DNS on this thing, and because Sun DNS does not work, all my clients and they are now pissed at me. So the only way to fix this is to I don't know why Sun DNS isn't working on this machine. It's a big, chunky machine here, and I don't know. I mean, another problem I have up here is that this stack tends to topple over and have to rebalance it. I mean, I have a big problem on floor 9. Like floor 9, I mean, like every time I went to it, it was completely disarrayed. All right, let's look at my clients are coming back. Again, because Sun DNS is not working today. Alright, where was I? Let's go to floor 5. I mean, the requirements for Sun DNS and DNS server are both having a database server on the back end, and I have Padu version 2 on that other machine down there. So I have no idea what the hell's going on there. No clue whatsoever. So it's just another glorious floor with its and they use these extensions. There's 2 different, slightly different colors of extenders here. I haven't looked at the servers. There was an update, and I haven't looked at the servers recently. So quickly scroll through that. Nothing really surprising there, and yeah, there's a light gray on the receiver, and then a dark gray one that's down here, and I always make sure that I use these just so they don't become a bottleneck, and I never have to replace them. So that's important. I think I had to do some debugging on this floor, so that's why I have the larger expander there. Or maybe I was just being lazy and I had one, and so I did put that in there. Anyway. Remember, floors 1 through 4 are on the first router, and we're in the domain of the second router. And yeah, boring floor. Yeah, this is the software updates. A lot of the clients require software updates. Now I have a switch at the very bottom of the tower. I have a switch all the way on the floor of the floor 0. It's on the ground basically, and so we got a direct link to port 1 here. So it's got a somewhat privileged connection to this group here. Now everything else, I also am connected there, which goes straight to the backbone switch right now. So that's how that works. I was still direct connecting the video cameras here, and trying to make my schema of data network, voice network, video network, and then a sort of front end box to connect the three. But that didn't really work, so I just gave up. In the when we get into the teens, you'll just see I just gave up on it and stopped trying to do it. Yeah, another network here. We've got a fiber here for some reason. The mail, I mean, it's marked as a major service provider, so I want to provide it a good amount of bandwidth because I mean everybody gets pissed when their mail is slow, but the port was way over here, so I had to use I didn't. I sort of faced between, okay, do I put another port like right next to it, or do I put one of these in? And for this floor, I decided to put one of these in. So, not, it just had to be what it had to be. Now, in real life, I think the copper is rated up to 100 meters, the fiber maybe 1,500 meters, and the fiber has a huge number of advantages. It hardly ever goes down. It's invulnerable to radio noise. Where am I going? I'm going to 9, so press that. Okay. Yeah, here I did do a lot of stuff. I think there's one of those headsets I had to get on. Yeah, this is the floor. It was always spilling over. I had barely enough cable to reach all my crap. I just... I don't know. The goddamn advertisers just threw something up on my other computer, just started making noise for no reason. Just because an advertiser just... I said, oh my god, he hasn't heard about hair tonic in the last 10 seconds. Oh god, the advertisements are just driving me absolutely nuts. Anyway, I mean, there are a lot of old network standards, like Token Ring was a famous IBM standard that IBM used for a long time. There was also ArcNet, which is kind of a predecessor to Ethernet, but it had longer range cables, but it didn't. It could only have 256 nodes on a single network, so it's kind of limited. So they used it for work groups and campuses back in the 80s, and it was kind of nice. But anyway, floor 10 is interesting because I'm treating the headsets and the clients as separate. It's a completely maintenance-free floor. I mean, it's perfect. This utilities guy is going like straight into one of my routers, and that's nice. I didn't mark the floor here. Where's this guy going? Let's figure this out. He's going to floor 9. So this is just going down the floor, straight into the router, and then straight out to all the clients. So that's pretty good. Make a note of this because the game does not give you enough time to document it. All right, the day in this game is 6 minutes. Now at 25 speed, that becomes 5 minutes. So 5 minutes. Now let's see, 600 seconds is 10 minutes. So at 25 a quarter speed, 10 becomes 40 minutes. So in 40 minutes, you have to do a site survey. You have to plan out a network. You could kind of skip over the budgeting to a large extent. You just have to try to be cheap, because no matter what you do, you're going to be on $20,000-$30,000 in the hole, and so you're basically screwed. But anyway, Alright, so this is a banking client. It's got fiber out, and then just 2 cables, 0 maintenance floor. So that's happy. Now here we have a mess of stuff. With these floors, you gotta be careful because sometimes there's gonna be more crap beyond the ends. So you gotta really make sure that you look at both ends. And so this floor is pretty basic, and it's because it's got a fiber and here and here. I just use this switch to minimize the I'm trying to get away with just a single piece of equipment, and then decided to link this floor via copper. Although I mean, if it was up to me, I'd always use fiber just because it's more reliable and just fewer issues in general. It's a little trickier to work with when you're installing it, but once it's installed, it's the stuff you want to use. Floor 13 and floor 4. Let's see. No, alright, this is 13. So you got another one of these floors. The camera it's actually connected here, and the phone's connected there, and they're both overloaded. So I was like, they're overloaded. And I'm like, okay, alright, it's time to stop. Give it up. And I'm just not going to deal with this anymore. And I'm just going to only focus on the listed clients in the surveyor, and most of which are reasonably happy at this point. And alright. Alright, this and the floor and the next floor are both data centers. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if it's a Cloud Hub data center, then it's going to have a lot of traffic, and then the next floor is going to be on massive traffic too. So what I put in here was the best switch I could get at that point. So I just have the next floor up, and that's floor 14, floor 15. And so these lines are crossed. So basically the port 0 on all my routers is the uplink. Ports, and then the floors in order. So whatever is the lowest floor, which is floor 14, is going to be that, and floor 15. So by following that schema, and as much as I can on all the routers, and it just makes things a lot simpler. So I'll skip floor 15. It's just a single wire, and just basically identical, just a single wire. I figured that if these are big cloud hubs, then I'll just give them tons of bandwidth. Although they seem to be very, very, they seem to be almost like residential clients. They're just like not nearly as much as I provisioned for them. I mean, I'd given them huge amounts. Now this is interesting right here. This is. I realized I could take the code off the switch and put it onto one of these. And let's take a look at this. All right, so we got the RT kernel. That's the router on the core. The Padu version 2, DNS server. As we saw, Sun DNS is not working in this build. And then DNS mask, which is pretty good. So that's... And yeah, I don't know which of these 3 programs or 4 programs. I'm going to assume it's a DNS server or DNS mask. I don't know which. I don't care. They both suck. And they're both I don't know. Like if a guy complain, let's look at one of these guys. Let's look at this surveyor. All right, this guy. Can I? All right. Okay, these are legitimate complaints. I'll have to figure out why you can't connect to those. But here, no DNS servers for this, that. Dude. All right, I'm gonna email you a hosts file. And you just install it on your computer right here. And stop complaining to me about DNS, okay? No complaints about DNS. So these are really, really nice. I mean, when you get them going with, with all the services on one machine. So basically, this is router. It's serving 4 different floors, and it's and by the time it's going to the data center, and all the little crap is taken care of. So the only thing the data center has to do is routing. So this is, I mean, if you look at the clients on this floor, what are these guys complaining about anyways? Where are we? Floor 16. What are these guys up again? See, most of these guys like we're serving floor 13, well 14 and 15 are these cloud hubs. And then 16, 17, 18 are all through here. And as you can see, there might be issues with that west side router downstairs, but they are not complaining about DNS. I mean, all of that's taken care of. So I mean, this is that's anyway. Just another repeat of the same. And 'Yeah, I got another one up here, and let's take a look at this one. I mean, we're CRN 18, so we're probably serving 18, 19, 20, 21, 18 through 21, happy clients. So, there you go. I'm going to jump to 22 now. '22 is where they say, they're connecting to neighboring towers. Okay, so if the other towers are like the one I'm in, then they're going to have gonzo amounts of traffic, so therefore I have like a gonzo switch set up. So we're going all in with the amount of switching we have here. And here we go. There are complaining about DNS. Okay, well 22 goes into the east side server downstairs. In the east side server, it's got that one machine with the DNS server and the PADU on it. And it's not doing crap. And this proves it's not doing crap. And these guys don't know what a host files is. They don't know what DNS caching is. They just keep, and the DNS servers are slow as hell. So I don't know. And there's basically sweet fuck all I can do for these guys. And so that's going to be that. And Yeah. I don't know, just another dorky floor with a different, slightly different theme to it, so screw this floor. Oh, this floor, this is not really a floor, it's like a mini apartment building, and just a complete separate building, so you can't think of it as a floor. You gotta think of it as its own building, its own infrastructure. It's a nice sort out those cables. It's just tap all the equipment just so we can see the what's actually going on here. The floor is just huge. It had 2 telephones, so I was like thinking, okay, well I'll connect the 2 telephones and then route them downstairs. See, it's not connected. You see, no link there. I'd completely given up on making those work, so that's just sitting there. I think there's also you see there's a camera on this floor. Again, not the wire there, but no connection. So here I used one of these to link the 2 halves of the floor. And because there's so much on this floor, it's got its own private link to high bandwidth down to the east side of the server room downstairs. Okay, carrying on. Yeah, this is a weird little floor. It's just got this one client, one wire, and then no BS. Of course, it's all over the place because this game. On this floor, I have this odd stack of things, because if the server was on the bottom, and then I tried to use the elevator, the server would come with me. So it's got to be stacked up like this, away from the other stuff. So it's again, these are the only way to go. I mean, like, and if you go back to here. Everything, I mean, 24 is happy. I know we're on 26 right now. Not happy. So there's what's going on here. Server down, server not connected. Yeah, this is one of those floors which goes off the end here, so you got to make sure there's no extra crap beyond the end there, and then all my wires are stretched to the breaking point, and kind of completely didn't even try with that phone or the surveillance camera. Now, if I start to build a new tower, I'm gonna need a plan for these these extra devices. So without a plan, there's no point. I mean, I'm like, what is this for? I mean, the clients want VoIP service. Okay, fine. I mean, tell me how to do it. And anyway. Because like a handset can just get a network connection directly to another handset. The only thing it needs is to map the telephone number to the IP address, and then it'll work. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, these You need more visitors. All right, let's try this. Let's see what's going on here. So let's ping these. I know it's an ad agency, so therefore they're assholes. Let's ping these assholes. Network works, so I mean, screw them. Go hang themselves because they're advertisers. Yet another one of these floors. Ho hum. Hum ho. Ho hum. Hum ho. Ho hum. Dorky little floor here. Yeah, I want to label stuff, but usually, like if you're trying to actually play this game, things are dropping on your head, and you're spending your time debugging things. Floor 31. I don't think I have anything on floor 31, so I don't care. Like if you see a dangling power cord or something like that, it's probably because I had the debugger up here, and I was like, okay, well, I was obviously fixing something, but and then now that it was fixed, I just left it there just so I'd have it. And yeah, I think I just had one of these on me, and I decided to use it on this floor. Alright, well, let's take a look in the survey, alright? So are these guys happy? Okay, these guys are actually, let's see, we got 29, 31. This is my uplink to 0. It's always, it's floor 28. Mark, yeah, screw it. So we got 28 through 31 on this floor. So most of these guys are pretty what's going on down here? Now I'm curious. Let's go back to 28 and see what's going on. You lose a router or you lose a switch. Let's see, where's my uplink? I think this is my uplink. This is to 28 to 30. Yeah, that's my uplink. And yeah, wait a minute. That's I got my uplink set to the wrong unit, so let's just alright, let's just tower link. It'll be on the view link. Stuff to rip it out and let's see, we're on, it's 28 to 30. 28 to 30. Rip that out. Create link. 28. 30. PHRC. VM. Cat5. Request link. Yeah. Once again, my home network is at, it's 10 gigs all the way to my router, so I mean, it's not used to dealing with Cat5. Hey, let's go to 31. Yeah, 28's coming up. I don't know what's wrong on the floor 27 is. They can go hang themselves as far as I care. And yeah, pretty basic floor. I didn't have enough on that clients here to justify putting in one of the larger switches here, so this one guy gets his private media converter. I don't know why he's got fiber. I mean, the building management should just come down on those guys saying, "Do you need fiber?" No. Then that's then you're not getting fiber. That's your answer. No. So. "32 just fell on my head. It's not big enough to, I mean, it's just this one client, or two clients, and I did the basic build, but it's not connected enough. I'll probably drop a data center at this point, but I don't know. It's just, it's time for another data center, and maybe we can go into building that. But right now, this is basically all I have to say on this video. I'll probably build the data center and then drop 3 more clients, and then look at how I want to route that. Building a new data center probably takes 30 or 40 minutes just to get and plan out all the equipment and get that built, and I'm just not in the mood to at this point, so I'm just going to leave this disconnected and then call it a video. So thanks for this watching, even though it's just long and rambling and not much of a point. I hope the audio is good enough. And my settings look okay, not great, just okay. And at least I got the game audio dialed down by about 50%, so you should be able to hear me. But anyway.